ever since I was little, something about wood splitters have always intrigued me, and I think it's something about the mechanical background that I've always had, and it's taking rotary motion and converting it into linear motion to do work and splitting wood, and it's one of the easiest things that people build. I've built multiple wood splitters throughout the years, but I've never actually had a chance to work a wood processor. So today we get to come out to Ivester Wood and check out this Dyna, what is it, the SC-15?
Dyna SC-15.
Dyna SC-15. So first of all, let me say thank you for having us out here.
Yeah, no problem.
Checking out this is such a cool machine. I've always wanted to. I've watched YouTube videos for hours on just splitting wood, and I've always wanted to run a wood processor. So we're going to take a look at this Dyna, the SC-15, and let's just start at the power plant, because that's where the work starts. That's where we start taking that rotary motion and turn into linear motion. So this one, so you had two options on this, right?
Yeah, there was a Kohler gas motor that I believe was a 38 horsepower, and the Caterpillar 1.7, which is I believe right around a 40 horsepower as well.
Right, so it's a 1.7 liter Caterpillar.
Three-cylinder.
Yeah, three-cylinder, electronically fired common rail diesel engine, and you said 40 horsepower. It's got 18:1 compression ratio. So if we do that math real quick, 18:1, 1.7 liter, 40 horse, that's 92 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty impressive. Turbocharged, 92 pound-feet of torque to run the hydraulic pumps. And
that's all it runs, is just a big hydraulic pump.
That is cool. So that pump group right there does everything.
Yep.
Awesome. So tell me about this container you've got right here. I see that.
So we've been trying to figure out a way to capture, so we're not wasting any of our wood chips.
Oh yeah, so this is coming right off the saw blade then, huh?
This is all saw chips. Right. Great for bedding. We take it and we can resell it to people for dog bedding or horse bedding.
Right. So if you didn't have this container here, we'd just go out on the ground.
Yeah, we'd just lose it all on the ground, and I'm not a big fan of wasting anything at all.
Right. That is awesome. So you just had to build a little chute to come in.
Yeah, this is kind of a makeshift chute. We're gonna.
This is new to you, right?
Yeah. This is all within the last couple of weeks. So we're trying to figure out the groove and get our setup right.
So this is the wood chips that come out, and I see you got your conveyor set up going right into your dump trailer.
Yeah, we take it so we don't have to move the machine. A lot of guys will set up this machine. They'll fill up their conveyor pile, and then they'll move the machine forward. And where I like to have more of a centralized unit, I dump it into my dump trailer and then take it over to my wood deck, which is a little bit easier for me to load and unload, especially once winter comes and the snow's heavy.
Wow. So you just fill this just right up to the rim then?
Yeah, we figured it out that pretty much when you fill this up, you stack it in there, or just let it convey in there.
Yeah.
We're about 3 cords every time.
3 cords.
And I fill that up in anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes.
And you just take it and dump it?
Yeah, we take it and dump it, and then come back and get some more.
Yeah, and you'll show us the wood pile here.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll
cool.
Migrate over there.
Well, let's check out the business end of it. So coming on around, I see you've got a regular log splitter here. Why is...
So what happens sometimes, we get, we have an 8-way wedge running right now, but sometimes we'll get some that sneak by and need to be resplit. We do a lot of firewood bundles, so we like to have it smaller materials so that it fits and compacts in the firewood bundles better. So if there's an occasion where something needs to be resplit, we can, instead of slowing down the machine, whoever's tailing the machine, making sure the chute's clean, can resplit, put it on the conveyor, and take it out.
Okay, all right. So you got 2 people working.
Yeah, usually 2 people are working. You know, we'll have people out bucking logs, or at least 2 people on this machine.
So you mentioned you had an 8-way blade on it now.
Correct.
And you've got other options?
I do. I have a 4-way and a 6-way.
4-way and 6. So why would you use one over the other?
So the 4-way and the 6-way, they're good in smaller material, I think. The 8-way, it just splits it a lot finer. Like I said before, we do firewood bundles,
Right.
so the 8-way wedge gives us a little bit finer of a product.
Okay. So so it makes sense to, if the smaller trees, you'd use the 4-way or the 6-way.
Yeah, you could get away with a 4-way. Or if you're doing big material all the time, it's good to run the 4-way because you're not putting the extra stress on your equipment.
Right.
But everything we're sawing is dry, it's seasoned. It was standing dead. It's Engelmann spruce, and typically, no matter how big it is, as soon as it hits that 8-way blade, it's splitting.
Split, pops
Yep.
right open, huh?
Yeah, you just touch it and it's breaking open.
So how big of a diameter log can you do?
They say a 22-inch. It has a 25-inch bar on it. 22 inches about the max. Once you get past that, it starts having a hard time. Once your tip gets buried, the saw doesn't like to cut as much.
So it's really the limitation on the saw blade itself.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing would split it, no problem.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Okay. And now I see you've already got logs up on the bucks here.
Yeah.
How long are those?
So we run them we run them shorter, but we try to keep it around 16 to 20 feet. This live deck can handle 16 feet logs, no problem. And it depends on the type of log, whether we put a 20-footer on there or not. The longer we keep them, the more production we get, though. Every time you have to switch out to the next log
Right.
is lost production. So when you can keep these logs nice and long, you're going to get a better yield.
I got you. And then, so now what do you call this whole area here?
This is the live deck.
The live deck. Okay.
This whole area right here is a live deck.
And how do the logs get fed into the?
So you'd pull on this right here, you just feed them forward. It has log flippers here, and
Okay,
that
so
flips the log onto the green chain. And the green chains have teeth on this particular model, and it feeds your log towards your saw.
Okay, so the live deck has chains on it that's actually pulling the logs in. That is cool.
Yeah, there's a small hydraulic pump that runs those. Then there's another hydraulic pump that runs the green chain, and a similar hydraulic pump can be found on the conveyor as well.
Awesome.
And there's really the only limitations I've found with this saw, or with this unit, to go faster is the splitting maul. And on smaller stuff, I've found that if you cut 6 or 8 cuts and then position your wedge properly and then split through, you can gain a lot more production, as opposed to cutting these smaller 3 to 5 inch, 4 inch tips and running them through and splitting them one at a time.
And that brings to another question. So you can move that wedge up and down, right?
Absolutely. Same function right here. You move that wedge up and down.
That is cool. So depending on what size tree or...
Correct. Yeah, and the live deck is hydraulic. If you want to lift it up, because it'll all fold up. This whole unit folds up and can be towed right down the road.
How long would it take you to fold this up?
If there's no logs on it, I can be done, ready to rock and roll out of here in 5 minutes.
5 minutes? No way.
And setup takes a little bit more time, just because I like to make sure all of my live deck is level, in the whole machine's level. So it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to set up.
That's cool. So everything is done right here.
Correct. Yeah, you have all your instrument panel here. It tells you your temps, your clamp pressures, everything here. This controls your bar oil, how much bar oil is being fed into your
So this has a
saw.
separate oiler. It doesn't
does.
use hydraulic oil.
Correct.
Like some of the processors do. Right?
Yeah, I use bar oil on this. I could wire it up, make it so it did use hydraulic oil, but the bar oil, to me, is more efficient than hydraulic oil.
Yeah, well, I've seen other processors that will actually use a small amount of oil from the reservoir to lube the bar, so that's pretty cool. This has a separate reservoir.
What's nice about this one is you can be off, or you can turn it up as high as you need. And I find in some of this bigger dry wood that you have to have more lubrication.
The bigger the wood, the more lubrication.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
You can't just raw dog it in there.
I wouldn't say you can.
as far as the saw operations, to move your live deck or your green chain forward or backwards, to clamp down and run your saw, open your saw and open your clamp.
So that's all in one function. That clamps and runs the saw.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you basically, when you're running this machine, your hands are on these two joysticks and you're running the machine just with these until you're ready to bring another log on, and then you bring it over here.
So this is all deck control.
Correct. And wedge.
And wedge, okay.
So this one right here, one of the cool things that I like about this splitter as opposed to some of the other ones is when you go forward, it holds it going forward.
Yeah, I got a forward detent
until it encounters too much pressure, and then it'll pop off.
The detent drops off.
Correct.
Yep.
But you can also manually hold it, and you can listen to the motor. It'll let you know when it's ready to, not go any further.
Sometimes you have to force it.
The other cool thing is same thing in reverse.
Okay, detent both directions.
Correct.
Cool.
And a lot of them only give you detent in reverse and not detent in forward as well.
So are you sawing, clamping, and splitting at the same time?
I can be, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'll bring it in. When I bring the log forward, I can clamp it. I can actually run the clamp just ever so slightly, do this, and then the log can roll in this clamp. So if you're starting to get towards the end where it gets teeter-tottering, it won't drop off into your splitting maul.
Awesome.
So right here, the conveyor, you can adjust the flow up and down manually. This will slow or speed up your conveyor. It's really nice so that if you're running some smaller things and you're pushing it through faster, you can slow it down if you want to or speed it up. And this is a constant flow. The only way you can turn off the conveyor is by turning this flow off.
Okay. And does that go over to relief, or does it just shut it off?
If you turn it to there, there's no more flow going, and it shuts it off completely.
Okay. And then what's this little orange thing you got hanging down right there?
So what we have is different measurements. We have anywhere from 12 to 22 inch, and this is basically a guide. So as soon as my log comes in right here, I know I'm at 16 inch. I cut it, it drops into my tray, and then we can split through.
It's got a little curve in it, doesn't it?
Well,
You're more like 15 inches there. That's how you tickle that.
well, you got to go until it hits the bottom.
Oh, okay. You got a bottom.
You got to hit that crazy spot,
Right. Right. So tell me, so it's just got an electric winch that you can raise and lower.
Correct. Yeah, so this, when you want to bring your conveyor up or down, you use your electric winch. Always use your safety chain to ensure, because cable can fray and cable can break. So always have your safety chain in place. This conveyor actually breaks right here. So when you lower this, you can break this right here, and then it'll ride on these casters, and you pull it. Once you broke it, it folds up right there, and you can suck it right in, and it's ready to be hauled right down the road.
That is really cool. So what is it about the Dyna? Why did you choose the Dyna processor?
So the Dyna, from everything I've seen, the Dynas are built really well. The 2021, I liked how it has a tandem axle. Their service department, you can't beat it in the industry. They're, for what they are and who they are. I have a different brand of a wood bundler, and their customer support is horrible. And with Dyna, I can text them, weekends, and they get back to me.
No kidding.
We had a minor warranty issue that, I called them up and they said, well, next day the part out to you, and it was good to go again.
Great. Where are they out of?
They're out of Michigan.
Okay.
They're all Amish. They have a great work ethic and great people skills too.
No kidding. Oh, that's great, man. It's a good looking machine. So after you fill up your dump trailer, this is where you bring it and dump it?
Right. We bring it up here because it's easier to access come winter time. It's less plowing for me, really. Yeah. And I can make sure that this area is nice and clean for customers coming to pick up wood, or for me to get around to dump the wood over here.
Being that we're in the middle of the desert, we don't have to worry about keeping it covered or it getting wet, right?
No, not really. I mean, You know, there's a certain percentage that might get some moisture, but most of this wood pile is going to be gone long before it ever even sees snow.
Right. And I've got to ask, being that we're in the middle of the desert, there's not a damn tree in sight. Where does all this wood come from?
We harvest this out of the Uinta Mountains.
Okay.
Bring it down here and process it. It's all standing dead.
Okay.
It's been dead for a couple years now.
And that's good. They like you to get the dead wood out, right? Because of the fires
Yep.
and all that. Okay. Awesome. So you'll just scoop this up and sell it by the trailer load?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll sell it by truckload, trailer load, however much you need. If you need a one bundle, we can sell you a bundle, or if you need a semi-load, we can sell a semi-load.
So I see that you've got all these stacked up on, well, you've got them in bags here on pallets, and then you've got them in crates here that are already bundled up.
So what we offer our loose firewood like you just seen, but we also we distribute these to all sorts of different places. These are finished pallets. They have a steel gaylord that we've converted out of, we've just upcycled old water totes and decided to cut them out and use them as a display.
That is really cool. So the customer will just come up and buy a bundle out of here.
Absolutely, yeah. This can sit on the at the storefront, or we can unload it, because some of our gas stations, you know, we can put these on the truck and we just unload the pallets ourselves, because we want our product to look good.
You need that good.
We also sell firewood bags.
So let's talk about the bags. What are these for?
These are face cord bags.
And what's a face cord?
A face cord is 1/3 of a full cord.
Okay.
So we'll put these with our, we hold them up with, we have a rack, or our skid steer forks holds this bag up in the air, have it sitting on a pallet filled up with 1/3 of a cord.
Okay.
And a lot of people like this to be delivered into their backyard, so they don't have to stack the wood. They got a place. It keeps the you know, for their fire pits, it keeps the mess all in the bag, and all they have to do is pull it out from here.
That is cool.
And put it in their fire pit.
So 3 of these is a full cord, right?
Yep, 3 of these would be a full cord.
And a cord is stacked 4 by 4 by 8, right?
Correct, 128 square feet.
128 square feet of wood, okay. That is cool. Well, I'm ready to see it in action. You ready to split some wood?
Sure.
All right.